How many times do you find yourself saying when you're in a initiative that you're doing an initiative, find yourself saying, there's one more thing. As I do this one more thing, then I'll be ready to go. Then it will be perfect. How many of you find that you are a recovering perfectionist, or maybe not so much a recovering perfectionist? Well, today I want to share with you 3 tips to push past perfectionism to get moving. I use the word progress because I wanted to get some alliteration going, but to really get you moving in the direction of the initiative, your initiative that you would love. So if you love what you're hearing, or you agree, or there's some things that you relate to, make sure that you drop hearts and thumbs up in the comment section so I know that this is resonating with you. And if there's 2 things that I have for you today, if you want to get my training notes, downloadable PDF, and you want to register for my masterclass coming up in soon, put the word progress in the comment section and my team and I will make sure that we get that to you. So let me say some quick hellos. Yay, Luce, you've come far with this. You've really learned to push past that, that nasty voice of perfectionism. And Susan, good to see you. I was thinking about you the other day. And Michelle and Severina and Molly and Stacy. Stacy, happy birthday to you. Thrilled to be sharing your birthday this way. All right. So for those of you who don't know me, hey, Becky, you are definitely making progress. My name is Felicia Searcy, and it is my joy to be your partner in believing. Your dream is my passion. I have had the honor of serving thousands of people around the world build out lives that they absolutely love living, and it's my joy to be here with you today. So the problem, you have an initiative. You want to get going with that initiative. I feel like all right, y'all tell me if, I know what it is. I moved this screen. There we go. Okay. So this is called taking massive imperfect action, trying to figure out what's going on with the screen. So you have an initiative. There's something that's really, 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 really important to you, and you want it to be just right. And you find yourself going, one more thing. There's one more thing. Let me do just this. Oh, I know if I do this, it will just be perfect. And there you are, putting the beginning, delaying the start. You just keep delaying and delaying and delaying until you realize that you're just not getting started with this thing. And it's stunning how much time goes by when you look at from when you first had the idea and you began to build the project to when you've actually initiated it, if you've initiated it at all. So what do you do? Well, like I said, I want to share 3 tips with you to help you really push past perfectionism. Let's break down the illusion of perfectionism so you can get in there and get going, so you can make stupendous progress, remarkable progress. All right, so here are the 3 steps. Number 1, go back to why you're doing it in the first place. Why was this important to you in the first place? So when I look at the amazing group of people that are here live, and knowing that there will be many, many, many of you that will be watching the recording of this, you're up to some really important stuff. There are things in your life that are really, really, really important. And there are people that are depending on you taking action, moving on those things. So go back and ask, why is this important? Why did I want to do this initiative in the first place? Then as you're asking that question and you're thinking back to, oh yeah, this is why I fell in love with that. Take a moment and think about the people that are impacted as a result of your willingness to move in the face of imperfection, of doing it clumsy and awkward and messy, that you're willing to do it messy. Becky, when I think of you, I think of you, well, I think of all of you, particularly those of you that I have the honor of serving as my clients. You cross the movie screen in my mind often, many, many, many times a day. And I look at this amazing group of people, you know, Luce and Becky and Michelle and Molly, you know, those of you that I can, and Stacy, that I can see your names, and the ones that I know that I get to work with you personally. You are bringing such an amazing gift to the body of humanity. You know, Becky, when I think about Becca Rose and all the people that you're serving there geographically, and you know, in your geographical location, and your amazing online services, and now you're helping people build out businesses. You're bringing your business expertise to help people build out businesses, and your willingness to begin, to just begin, awkward and unsure and not exactly knowing the path and it being messy. And people are being served because of your willingness to be uncomfortable and to step into this new initiative, this new venture for you, particularly around your business coaching. And here's the thing I want everybody to hear. People will be served even when it's messy. When you're messy, people are still served. You know, I was a minute late getting on because there was some technical things. There's 2 broadcasts listing, and one of them said it was disconnected, so I had to figure out the right one to put on, and not always having the screen exactly right. And here I am in a hotel room again in Seattle, and got the light coming on. I have to figure out into this, you know, the light on this side and a little bit darker on this side, and you know, it's not an ideal setting. Nevertheless, here I am sharing this with you with an intention and with a hope that you will hear something today that as you apply it, particularly around this piece of being a perfectionist, that it will help you move. So go back to your why. Why was this important in the first place? Then imagine who is waiting for you to get moving with this initiative. And then, you know, a really powerful question to ask is, who will suffer as I stay trying to make it all pretty and make it perfect? Who's going to suffer if I keep sitting on my need for perfectionism and I keep delaying this initiative? You know, it's I've been up in this area now for a little over a week. I head to Sacramento tonight, actually. So if y'all could hold in prayers that my older sister, who anyway, she's contracted an infection. She's been in and out now for several months, and she's in ICU right now. And so I'll be flying to Sacramento this evening. Anyway, all of this to say that I've been in the Washington area, and Saturday I went up to Mount Rainier. I love to hike. I'm a hiker, love to be outdoors, and I love to hike. And so got to Mount Rainier and was pretty unprepared. I really didn't know what to expect. You know, I mean, obviously I've done a lot of hiking in the past, and I have the stamina for it. But, you know, so I'm packing in LA, right? I'm in LA. And I remember, oh, okay, so I'm going to the Pacific Northwest. I should probably pack some kind of rain gear. And so I'm literally digging in the back of my closet trying to find my raincoat. And it was one of those afterthoughts. In fact, I think I even went back for it and just kind of threw it in my suitcase. So I had a bottle of water and a raincoat. And the ranger, the forest ranger, told me about this trail where there was these 2 great waterfalls. And she didn't give me any descriptors of the trail. She just said, there's this great trail with these 2 waterfalls. And I thought, okay, well, I love waterfalls, so I'll go for it. Well, I get on that trail, and number one, it's misty, it's raining, it's muddy, and it's steep. I mean, 2 miles, 1.8. So I won't exaggerate. No, it was 1.9. 1.9 miles of pretty much straight up. And it wasn't all just path, but a lot of it was climbing on rocks and climbing over roots. And there was a couple of logs in the way. It was a messy hike. All of this to say that it was a messy hike. I was breathing hard. I had to stop and rest, hope my water wouldn't last. I was rationing my water. Nevertheless, every messy step took me closer to the top where the two waterfalls were. I got there. I wasn't pretty. I didn't have really nice, fancy hiking gear on. I did, I have a pair of shoes that I wear that allows me to pretty much jump into anything that I want to do. So I had that. I did have a raincoat, minimal as it was. But all of this to say is that it wasn't perfect. I wasn't perfectly prepared. I wasn't, the path certainly wasn't perfect. The sun wasn't shining. In fact, I really kind of sat back and wondered, why am I doing this? Because it really is pretty nasty and messy. But it was the promise of what was on the other side and the joy of just being in the experience. So I did a whole Facebook Live on Sunday where I described this, but I want to bring it up here today as well, is to help you understand that messy as it was, and I got off that mountain, I was pretty much covered in mud, especially the bottom of my my pants and my shoes were covered in mud, and I was wet, my hair was plastered down, and nevertheless, every single messy step took me in the direction of the top of the that particular summit. It wasn't Mount Rainier, but that particular summit where I got to really just delight in those two waterfalls and had a lot of fun on the way up. So it's remembering why you want to do it in the first place. Why is it important for you to do this in the first place? To look at who's impacted by your initiative, your desire, your willingness to move forward, and who's going to suffer if you wait till a time when it's not messy. It won't be messy. Every moment you wait because you're not quite prepared, somebody is going to be adversely impacted because of this. So when there's that in you to say, oh, this one more thing, just this one more thing, let me do it one more, then it will be perfect. When you're bumping up against that edge, this is when you want to lean in and know and say, nope, I'm not going to let that voice win. Number one, this is too important to me. Number two, messy will get me there. Messy will get me there. And here's the other thing about doing it messy. Every messy step you take, you're gaining greater skill to where it will be prettier. It will be, I don't know if pretty is the right word, but more effective, more efficient. And to realize that, there are people who are going to be suffering if you don't do it. So go back to your why. Go back to your why. Number two, learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. When you watch kids, it's really quite an amazing thing. Kids have no inhibition. Kids have not been trained with the voice of self-criticism. That just, it hasn't been trained into them yet. So they're fearless when it comes to trying new things. That there's no hesitation in them. If you've ever watched, a toddler and learn how to walk, that toddler doesn't look around, number one, to see who's watching. Oh, and that reminds me, I want to go back to that other piece about your why. But this would be a good place to do it too. So anyway, a toddler, number one, doesn't look around to see who's watching. And I heard my mentor use this example once that, have you ever seen a toddler, pull themselves up and they step away from the table and they're, they're wobbly a little bit and then they boom, down on their diaper. I wonder if that's why God made us that way. So we've got a padding to land on when we fall, when we're learning how to walk. So we're not just, falling on your bum, that you get potty trained so long enough to have that diaper to learn how to walk. I don't know. If it is, that was pretty ingenious. Anyway, I digress. So, when you watch a toddler learn how to walk, not once does that toddler ever hit the ground and say, that's it, I'm just not meant to be a walker. If I can't do it perfectly, I'm just not meant to do it. Of course not. that toddler is learning the act of balancing and putting one foot in front of the other and getting a feel for that little body of theirs of what it is, what is it to stand upright and walk. And there's no inhibition. There's absolutely no inhibition because they have not been trained to listen to the voice of self-criticism. It's giving yourself the gift of going back to that childlike wonder and remembering who you really are and giving yourself the gift of a learning curve and realizing that it's not going to feel natural in your body in the beginning. Here's the other piece. And I was thinking about this when I was thinking about bringing this to you today when I was out doing my walk. I'm like right downtown Seattle, and I was out doing my walk this morning. That, okay, what was I thinking about this morning on my walk? Oh, come back to me. Oh, I know what it was. As an adult and as a highly successful adult, and I look at this list of people that I can see on the list, and those of you watching the replay, you do yourself a huge disservice. And, I do it as well. When we compare our new initiative to something that has become second nature to us. So you've created a level of success in a particular area, and you feel like an expert and very competent. That's what I'm looking for. You feel very competent in that area, and then along comes a new initiative that you want to go for. You're expecting that competent feeling that you've gained after years of building a skill in one area to have that same level of confidence and that same level of biological familiarity with the new initiative. And one of the things that's great about kids is that kids are always in their learning curve. They have no judgment around being in their learning curve. So it's to celebrate the success that you've experienced up to this point, and then to support yourself in being in that uncomfortable state of a new initiative, because you're not going to bring that same degree of comfort and familiarity that you have in an area that you're competent in to this. And I find so often that can be another place where that perfectionism. So, well, I'm really good over here. Why am I struggling so much over here? Well, you're not struggling. Learning is not struggling unless we say it's a struggle. When you declare it's a struggle, then you get to struggle. Kids don't struggle. They're like, oh my God, I'm struggling learning how to walk. I should be able to learn how to walk, because I've learned how to do this. Why can't I know how to crawl? Why can't I learn how to walk? Kids don't go there. It's just, okay, here's the next thing that I get to learn. Somewhere along the line, we have developed a voice that says you should maintain the same level of competency across all new initiatives, which means if you're not able to do it at that level that feels perfect, that feels right, then somehow you're doing something wrong. It's learning how to build a high degree of actually celebration. So I say, you learn to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. I'm going to encourage you to even celebrate it, because it means that you're stepping into a new initiative. You're stepping into a new frontier, and you're challenging yourself to learn new skills and put yourself in unfamiliar territory and cause yourself to grow. If we keep doing what we're really competent at, there is no growth. So, number one, go back to your why. Why is this important, and for whom is this important? And included in that is knowing that you can still accomplish it messy. I got to the top of that mountain even when it was messy. Number two, learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, realizing that you will not bring the same level of competency to a new initiative that you have in other areas that you've been very successful in. Now, you'll get there. if you stay at it. But it won't be, obviously it won't be right away. And then the third thing, so before I go any further, if this is resonating with you, drop some hearts and some thumbs up. And if you can see that in yourself, first of all, just wrap your arms around yourself and give yourself a tremendous amount of compassion for your willingness to step into something new, for a new initiative. And if you're willing to be uncomfortable for the sake of growth, not just to be uncomfortable for the sake of being uncomfortable, but if you're willing to learn how to be comfortable with being uncomfortable for the sake of your initiative, drop some thumbs and some hearts in the comment section. Thumbs up, not thumbs down, but thumbs up. And if you want the notes for this, if you want to be able to download and print this off, and so you'll have them in your hands, and to know when I'm to get included in my upcoming masterclass, put the word progress in the comment section, because we are working on pushing past that perfectionism so you can make progress and take massive imperfect action. All right, number 3, let's wrap this up. Number 3 is to, and it's one of those that I keep coming back to, keep coming back. It's to fundamentally know who you really are, and that there's not a single thing you have to do to negotiate your value. There's not a single thing you have to do to prove yourself. So often, that disease of perfectionism is the disease of I'm not enough. Just fundamentally, I'm not enough. And I have to do it perfect in order to prove, in order to prove myself, and in order to earn a spot on this planet, to be able to justify your existence. And when I'm here to say, and I will say it every time you come to a broadcast with me, every time I get to look you in the eye and know the truth about you, that there is not a single thing you need to do in order to earn your good. There's nothing for you to negotiate. There's nothing for you to bargain for. There's not a single thing for you to prove. You were woven from the very fabric of love itself. There's a power that so wanted you here. That power wove you into existence, again, from the very fabric of love itself. You didn't wake yourself up this morning. You can't even take one breath on your own. You don't have to earn your breath. There's not a single thing you do where it's like, okay, I got to hurry up and earn my air so I can take my next breath. You're breathing because you're here. And the very energy that created you delights in you, in your breathing. And you breathing. And the more you're able to know that for yourself and own it, the more you're able to let go of this obsession of perfectionism and get out there and do it messy, do it massively, and have fun with it. The more you know how precious you are in the sight of spirit, God, life force, whatever you want to call it, the more you return back to that childlike nature in this form of an adult, where you have this really, you're aware of this important initiative, the more that you're willing to just keep moving your feet, knowing that you're growing and you're learning and you're adjusting. And messy will get you there, right? That one's a good one. That's a writable downable. A write a downable. Is that right? Anyway, write it down. Messy gets you there. Messy will get you there. Perfection freezes you. When you're waiting for perfection, you're frozen. When you're willing to be messy, you're moving. There's another one. Messy moves. So messy moves you. And movement will get you there. So messy moves, messy gets you there. So, all right, so let's wrap this up. So if this is resonating with you, drop some thumbs and some hearts. And if you're willing to be messy, put the word messy in the comment section. And if you want these notes, so you've got them in your hand to be able to go back to and highlight, refer to them. And those phrases, messy moves, that one just dropped in. So you want to make sure that you take note on that. And you want to know when my how to get hooked into my masterclass, where we're going to take a deep dive into the success formula. Put the word progress in the comment section and we'll make sure that we get that to you. All right. So remember why this is important and who are you impacting by your willingness to step out. Learn to be uncomfortable. Learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, knowing that messy moves. And number 3, know that there's not a single thing that you have to earn or generate or negotiate. There's not a single thing that you have to bargain for. The very fact that you're breathing is evidence of how loved and cherished and divinely appointed you are to be here. All right, so I go live next week. And I'll be honest with you, I don't remember if it's Monday or Tuesday. But if you, Progress will also get you signed up to, if you're not already, for my list to know when I'm going live. And we'll let you know. It's either Monday or Tuesday. I forget. I've got to look at my calendar. But I'm going live next week. If not, I'm going to go live next week. All right. So it has been my joy to serve this information for you. I hope it serves you to help you move past imperfection so you can keep your progress going in order to be able to create the life that you absolutely love. My name is Felicia Searcy. It is my joy to be your partner in believing. Your dream is my passion. God bless. Mwah.